Dave, I've noticed that you're wearing a new shirt and you're sucking in your gut. Can I ask why that is?
No reason other than the fact we're about to interview Mrs. America.
Aha! Well, take a breath because it's time for Minutia Men Celebrity Interview.
The following is a Tony Lasano podcast, an Opie show on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. This is the Minutia Men Celebrity Interview with Rick and Dave.
We have a very special guest. This is kind of a thrill today, I got to say, Dave. Joining us is a inspiring, a wonderful person who is really making a difference. Joining us live from Springfield, Illinois. She's the current, I guess we can say even the reigning Mrs. America, right? Please welcome to the show, Nicole La Ha Zwiercan. Hello, Nicole.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. Yes, that was a very good pronunciation of the name. I'm impressed.
Thank you. Thank you. That's why I ask in advance and totally cheat, but whatever. So my first question to you is, all right, when you're crowned Mrs. America, is there like a whole coronation like Charles just went through?
Did you get like the big buggy with the white horses and everything?
It's not as royal as they do over on the other side of the pond, but it's a week-long pageant from 50 women all over the state, and it is pretty grand. And I have to say, it's one of those kind of really out-of-body experiences when it's actually happening to you. We've all seen the pageants on TV, but when you are the one who is chosen, it's kind of a very surreal experience.
It's kind of like every girl's dream, isn't it? When you're growing up watching these pageants on TV.
It was mine. Yes, yeah. Absolutely.
Did you like have your speech already? Like when you were 6, did you do a speech? Did you accept the crown that made out of tinfoil when you were a kid?
Right? No, you know what? I think I would be lying if I haven't pretended what it's like when you're standing in a line of women and they call your name. Like, how do you react?
Yeah,
right?
That's awesome.
But when it does happen to you, I can guarantee you, you definitely go off script because you're actually just so surprised that it's actually happening. That's so, cool. Yeah, absolutely. So you're
Mrs. Illinois and Mrs. America, right?
Correct. Yes, right. I represented Illinois at the Mrs. America pageant.
So we're very proud. As Illinoisans, we're very proud to have you as a reigning champ.
Does your husband ever get frustrated with you and say something like, you ask him for a sandwich and he says something like, make your own sandwich. Who do you think you are, Mrs. America? Does he ever say anything like that?
No, he's actually a really great pageant husband. So, I don't think a Mrs. can really be successful in competing unless they have a Mr. that's actually kind of digs it as well. But, I don't think Chris is very impressed or starstruck by me in the least. So,
I wanted to ask you just the pageant part of it, because I have a few nieces that have competed in these, and I know that there are like tricks of the trade to make yourself as beautiful as possible for that day. I can't even.
What are you talking about?
I don't even remember what they were, but like stuff like putting lip gloss on to have your lips, using Vaseline and
I've heard all
mirrors and lights and whatever.
Seriously, they started telling me some of this stuff. I wish I had written it down. I was like, really? I had no idea. You don't just walk out there like that.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Right. No. I think that's one of the things that most pageant women should absolutely be transparent and upfront with. This is not something you just wake up and decide to do. This is a sport. Just like any sport, being successful takes a lot of preparation, coaching and practice and tricks of the trade. We all have our own little tricks, but it definitely takes a lot of prep. There's strategy involved. There's a whole team. It's not just me who won this. There is a team of people who definitely have become my support when it comes into competing with the sport of pageantry, for sure.
But now you are Mrs. America. Now you can spill your secrets, right?
Yes.
Because there's no next pageant for you, right? This is you're
right.
on top of the mountain.
This is the Super Bowl. Yes. I think practice makes perfect, first of all. I think not being afraid of changing something that's comfortable for you to, for instance, walking, we all have our own paths when we walk. Not everyone walks like you do when you're on stage.
And especially in those shoes.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
in
know.
the shoes.
I don't know how you do that, but congratulations.
So you're not wearing the gown at Costco? Is that what you're telling me?
I mean, I'm not going to lie. Maybe once or twice. No.
Just the tiara. Just the tiara.
No, it's because you want the samples quickly. You don't want to wait in line so that, here's Mrs. America. She's got to get the pot stickers first.
Sometimes I'll be at an appearance and I'll be in the whole getup, the crown, the sash, the gown. And to be honest with you, people are kind of scared of you.
Yeah, I would be.
Yeah, they kind of like switch sides of the aisles or,
Oh, here she comes, Mrs. America.
She thinks she is.
Right, exactly. Lack of eye contact. If I don't look at her, she won't notice me. No, it's been a lot of fun. It's been an honor. It really, truly has. All joking aside, it's been a great time of my life. And
when does it end? When is the
August 26th? But who's counting, right?
Oh. So you're you're more than halfway through. You're probably 2/3 done.
Almost done.
Yeah. It's been a busy year.
And I think it's really been wonderful. And you've got this wonderful platform, and you're just really delightful. And you're using that platform to create awareness about some really wonderful causes that are dear to you. I wanted to spend a little time talking about your book, My Sister Is Just Like You. And tell us a little bit about where it came from, your mission, because I think it's wonderful. I really do.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things that makes people successful in pageantry is when they have a true and sincere why. Why are you doing this? Why are you walking around in a gown on stage? Why are you putting yourself through this? And for me, it is the platform, and it is to create more awareness when it comes to acceptance and inclusivity and creating accessible communities. I have to be honest, before we had my daughter who was born with cerebral palsy, I may not have been aware of that world and the disparities that come with accessibility for disabled individuals. And I always told myself that in the beginning, it was so hard learning that we would have a child that would have to deal with something like this my whole life. But I always kind of bargained and I always pleaded and, give me peace with everything she's going to go through. And I promise that I will use any platform you give me for good. And that's what I'm doing. I created this book to hopefully use as a learning tool to talk about differences when it comes to young children. And, even though my daughter may do things differently, she's not that different from you. She still loves the same things that you do. And, being Mrs. America and talking about inclusivity and accessibility is very emotional for me because it's so personal and it's so important. And that's what I've used this year for, is I'm just extremely passionate about it. And, when I'm done being Mrs. America, I'm not done advocating. I'm not done being, an advocate for accessibility and inclusivity. I think this is just the beginning.
Well, you're also involved in politics.
Yeah.
You're a press secretary working in Springfield. So, is this one of the reasons that you were drawn into that to advocate for this, or has this just been your career all along?
Well, I live in Homer Glen, Illinois, so we actually just got dismissed from session, so I made the trek home to come talk to you guys. I'm back in Homer Glen.
Oh,
and
back.
100%. Thank you. 100%. We took my daughter to a local park, and her and I both left in tears because there was nothing for her to do at this park. How do you tell a 4-year-old you can't play at a park?
Yeah.
And it hurts. It hurt really bad. It was just another reminder of something my daughter isn't included in. And that night I was up till 2 or 3 in the morning, just tossing and turning with just how just disheartened and how sad I was. And then I woke up the next day and I decided, I am going to run for local government. I am going to run for a trustee. I want to get on the parks board. I want to be a voice, not to force people to see, our way of life, but to have an a different perspective that I don't think was being represented at the time. And most places don't have a parent of a disabled child or a person who lives with a disability on these boards. And I think it's really important that we start to see that representation. And so that's what I did. It's why I love getting involved with advocacy and politics. And I love it. I absolutely love it. There's lots of things that go into politics where you're like, I could probably do without that, but
yeah. Be a little careful with the whole politics thing.
Yeah. And I hate using the word politics. I really do. I choose the word advocacy, because I'm not a career politician, and honestly, and I'm completely fine with that.
If you could convince these politicians to live by the motto of your blog, which is it's simple, be kind. Yeah. Right.
Yes.
That is such a beautiful message in, just a few words. It says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's something I hold myself to. And, when you're advocating for something so personal, it's really easy to get emotional, right? And it's really easy to kind of let things bother you that, when you're in a professional atmosphere that maybe, you gotta hold down the fort when it comes to the emotions when you're advocating for something so personal. But yeah, I definitely always try to remind myself, you need to be kind. You have to have conversations. You have to have respect for the person you're talking to. And that's definitely something I really strive to live by all the time, even with someone I might not agree with. It's just what their views are and what my views are. It's irrelevant if they align. We just need to start respecting each other and what we have to bring to the table.
I got to be honest with you in traffic because I was late this morning.
Dave is not a good example.
I was not kind in traffic today. All right, I'm just going to let you know. There's some bad words that came out of my. I am not happy about it, Nicole. But it's good. I'm going to be honest.
They say your true self comes out when you're on like one of those waiting hotlines when it's like a representative, a digital representative, and you got to speak into the phone and you're swearing at the person. You're like representative. There's nothing more true than that.
Right. So I think you should change it. Simple, be kind, unless you're in traffic with Dave.
Right, because there's only so much you can handle when you're in traffic.
I'm only human here.
Yeah,
Right, tomorrow's a better day, right?
Right.
So, your blog has really gotten some traction. You're connecting with people. They're sharing their stories. Tell us, a little bit more about the blog. Where can people read it?
My blog started off as basically kind of a therapy piece for me, something that, like I said, when something bothers me, I'm up all night, and I started writing and I started putting my words and thoughts on paper, and it started connecting with a lot of moms and parents. And to this day, I am blown away by some of the messages I receive that sometimes when we're vulnerable, we open the doors up for, real relationships. And that's basically what my blog is a very vulnerable story from the very beginning to present day.
So tell everybody where they can buy your book, where they can read your blog, and the best way to follow you on social media.
Yeah, so you can buy my book. Gosh, a lot of people have picked up my book, and I'm so grateful. I'm just so grateful. Barnes and Nobles, Barbara's Bookstore, Amazon, of course, Walmart. Just
basically everywhere books are sold. Yes,
basically everywhere books are sold. It's in digital, hardcover, and softcover. It's really cute. I must say so. It's from the perspective of my 8-year-old son, Cristiano, who did help me write it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, my blog is at simplebekind.com, or you can go to I think it's NicoleLaha.com.
And if not, just ballpark it. You'll find it.
I can't decide. I can't remember if that was my political website or
listen,
my book.
Miss Press Secretary.
I might want to get those. You might want to figure that out.
Yeah. I'll circle back.
Well, we want you on every week if that's okay. Because you're awesome.
Thanks. It's a lot of fun to meet and greet, talk to people.
I have to ask you the final question here, and
okay.
You don't have to answer it if you don't want to, but you really should. Any embarrassing stories you want to share while you've been Mrs. America? Like perhaps you had a piece of spinach in your teeth when you're talking to the governor or something? Anything?
That stuff happens all the time. I am probably one of the most transparent, real queens there probably are. Actually, my husband and I were just talking about that. I've had some really embarrassing things happen. I've called someone the wrong name on a public thing. No, I mean, in working at the state capitol, I run into a lot of people and people of authority, and yeah, I think my life is just sometimes an embarrassing moment.
well, that's something everybody can identify with. I think.
Yes, absolutely. But you have to laugh at yourself. You can't take things too seriously when you've got a lot going on and some heavy things that happen. So that's what I try to do, at least.
Well, you're very authentic. You're very down to earth.
Yeah.
Seriously, you can come every week to us on our program. Please do. In fact, you could be all right,
easy, Dave.
You could be my co-host. We're going to cut Rick out of the deal.
Oh, okay.
And then you're going to be the co-host.
Sorry, Rick. All right.
I had a good run.
Rick, you could still have your job. It's fine.
No, it's okay.
You could be our press secretary.
Yeah. There we go. Well, Nicole, thanks for being on the show. We really appreciate your time, and sorry about the mix-up on our timing a little earlier. It's Dave's fault.
It's totally 100% my fault.
But we wish you the best in everything that you do in the future.
And
Thank you.
And off the air, I want to talk to you about helping you promote your book through our, we have a publishing company, and we would love to help you promote your book purely out of the, we'd be happy to help. We'd love to.
I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for having me. I love having these opportunities to meet people and share our story.
Thanks, Nicole. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Okay, so we have to thank Nicole for being on the show. And we have to thank other people.
Yeah, right.
Special thanks to our executive producer, Tony Lasano with opishows.com. Opie is hippo backwards, OPPIH shows.com. We're distributed by Ed Silla with Radio Misfits. Great Talk Radio isn't dead. It just moved to a better place, radiomisfits.com. And we're going to be back again. We're going to do another
I hope so.
Minutia Men celebrity interview. Make sure you tune in right here at Radio Misfits.
And on your iPad or wherever you're listening.
Apple or wherever.
We're going to be right there.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, we're going to be right there.
All right. Take it easy. The preceding was a presentation of Opie Productions. Find our other great shows wherever you find podcasts, including opishows.com. Thank you.
This has been a presentation of Opie Productions.
Tony, can you shut up?